Hey guys, what's up? It's JRCuber. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the GuoGuan YueXiao Pro, which is the successor to the original GuoGuan YueXiao, although these two cubes are really nothing alike. The YueXiao Pro is really its own cube. This is a 56mm 3x3 with the half-bright sticker set that has now become standard for many new releases. The stock version of this puzzle has no magnets, but the pieces have built-in slots which will make adding magnets much easier. I don't have a magnetic version yet, but I'll be getting one soon, so I'll compare the two versions in a separate video. For now, let's take a look at the performance without any magnets. The turning of the YueXiao Pro is definitely most similar to an Oolong V2, which is interesting since this is the first mainstream speed cube to have rounded corners since the Oolong V2. The turning is harsh and crunchy and snappy and very loud. You can listen to the turning here. Using this cube definitely brought back memories of my oh so beloved Oolong V2 that has now seen its not so untimely demise. The rounded corners allow the cube to flow very well, as the center catches that are pretty much inevitable with squared off corner designs don't show up here. Corner cutting is as good as you would imagine. It doesn't really get much better than this anyways. It's past 45 with line to line reverse. It's basically the standard at this point, but of course catching can still occur. Like I said earlier though, the corner catches that can occur because of the squared off corners don't show up here, which means that the cube basically doesn't catch. Of course, the whole reason squared off corners were implemented in the first place was to prevent corner twists, and while I do get more twists on this cube versus cubes with squared off corners, it's not as bad as I was expecting. According to GuoGuan, the YueXiao Pro features a polyline anti-twist design, which basically means that the corners have been specifically designed to give you all the benefits of rounded corners without the added negative of corner twists. And from my testing, it seems to work really well. After hearing about this design, I was really curious to see what the corners looked like. Now, I'm no cube designer, but it looks like this sharp point at the base of the corner is what is preventing the twists. If we compare this to something like a GTS2 corner, we can see how that corner base is much more rounded. As for the mechanism as a whole, it's quite different from the original YueXiao. The corners are more open with a longer stock, and the edges have this new 3-level groove system. The grooves are most prominent on the edges, but they can be seen on the corners and the centers as well. Overall, this design allows for the most amount of contact points possible. So right now we've got almost everything that we need for a really great speed cube, except there's just one thing that I haven't talked about yet, and that is speed. Unfortunately, the YueXiao Pro is just too slow. I've lubed the core with Lubical Black and the pieces with Lubical 1, and although the puzzle seems really fast at first after it's freshly lubed, after doing solves and stuff like that, the speed just doesn't stay very consistent. If I add more lube, then the cube slows down again, so I know that there's enough in there. It's just that the cube just isn't very fast. Usually after about 50 to 100 solves, my hands are already starting to feel tired, which is really weird because I can usually do a couple hundred solves with the GTS2M if I really wanted to without feeling tired. Also, because of the added force that I have to use when turning, stability has suffered quite a bit. Although I have heard that the magnetic version of the puzzle is incredibly stable, so I really hope that that is true, because the cube at this point is kind of floppy. So I have a theory about the speed. I'm not sure if it's true, but I've talked to a couple other people about it, and it seems like the YueXiao Pro was designed for pro cubers, and not just because of the name. So there are several sub 9 and sub 8 3x3 solvers that have switched to this cube, and I think it's because when you're at that speed, you really need to be turning as quickly as you can, and for many people, cubes that don't have enough resistance force you to slow down in order to control the speed. A cube like this seems like it would work better for a person who needs that added control. Additionally, because of the rounded corners, you don't have to worry much about locking. Of course, this isn't going to work for everyone, but I think rough turners in general, as well as just really fast solvers who need to be able to turn a little bit rougher, would benefit the most from this cube. I find myself turning a little bit too aggressively when I use it, so it's not going to become my main, although I do get really good times with it. I just prefer to solve on the GTS2M more. I haven't given up hope completely on this puzzle because usually a magnetic version of a puzzle is much better than its non-magnetic counterpart. So we'll be comparing the non-magnetic one and the magnetic one in a future video, so I'll be revisiting this puzzle a bit later. Anyways, for now, that is all I've got to say on the GuoGuan YueXiao Pro. This puzzle costs $20 at thecubicle.us, and of course the link will be down in the description as always. Anyways, thanks to the Cubicle for making this video possible, and that's all for my review of the GuoGuan YueXiao Pro. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a like. Links to all of my social media pages, my Patreon, and my merch store are all linked down in the description below as always. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.